Hi guys, welcome to Barbie and Ken's World. Today is Mental Health Awareness. Well, not today. All of May actually is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Beyond the Doll Room is hosting a Mental Health Awareness Month collab, which starts today, May the 22nd to the 30th, I believe, of May. And it's pretty much of all of us in the doll community getting together, talking about our experiences, resources, if we have them, when it comes to mental health. And at first, I was not going to do this particular video because generally every month I do an emotional support doll segment, and I figured, you know what, after what I experienced this morning was a good time as any to go ahead and make this video. And I hope I don't get emotional in this video as I also talk about my experiences. But, so I do want to, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and share my experiences, and I'm going to show you resources, and then I'm going to end it with showing you the dolls that I dressed in green. Of course, I don't exactly have a whole lot of green. I have a green dress, well, sort of like a green, bluish, and then gold. So, yeah, so I have that on. So, yeah. So I want to start by talking about my experiences with mental health. When I was 16, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, along with depression, anxiety. At that time, I did not have a history of suicidal thoughts at that point in time. Me developing suicidal thoughts started when I, to be honest, it started back in you know what? It started in I want to say 15, 16. Before I got married, I was living in Maryland. Of course, I was born and raised in Maryland. I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina in 2019. But in 2015, I went through a dramatic experience. I went through a domestic violence situation. And since then, I started to doubt myself. And that's when I started developing suicidal thoughts. So I developed that because when it came to domestic violence, that was something that I never played around with. That was something that I always took seriously. I remember I used to watch these Lifetime movies and all these other shows, movies, and I remember I used to judge women when they're in these situations. I'm like, well, why don't you just leave? You don't have to take that and all that type stuff. And now that I firsthand experienced domestic violence, it was easier said than done because I was just like those women that I judged. And so, yeah. So fast forward, I moved to North Carolina in 2019. At that time, he was not my husband. He was my boyfriend at the time. This was, of course, a friend that I've known pretty much, I don't want to say my entire life, but he and I were, in a way, college sweetheart. We dated a little bit in college. He's been in my life, my husband now, he's been in my life since I was 19. I am now 39, hitting 40 in August. Whew, child. But yeah, wow, where has the time gone? So, So really since 2005 to 2019, you know, my husband and I, we've been the best of friends. Like, he was always my person. Like, he and I and our history together. And of course, I know what you guys are thinking. Okay, you went through your domestic situation. Where was your friend at this time? When I was going through my domestic situation, at that time, I was not in communication with my friends. We didn't exactly have a falling out. We were just mad at each other, and I just wasn't talking to him. It wasn't until later on I disclosed to my husband what I went through. So, of course, he got upset with me because his thing is, regardless of we're talking or not, if I'm going through something, always call him. My husband is that type of person with, you know, because of our history and our friendship, regardless of what we're going through, if I need him, he's there. And that is true. So yeah, moving forward, I moved here to Raleigh, North Carolina in 2019, hoping for a new life, a new start, new surrounding. I mean, I've lived in North Carolina before prior, and of course that was when I went to college, but that was, you know, college years, because I went to Shaw University, which is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. But I said, you know what, you know, when I moved to Raleigh this time, it's me as a grown woman, more mature, and I said, you know what, yeah. Of course, that was the biggest mistake. I will have to be very honest. That was the biggest mistake I made moving here to North Carolina because, well, I was not accepted I was not accepted by everybody that's connected to my husband. I was not perceived well. I was not, you know, even now, you know, nobody on his side cares for me, likes me. I could drop dead today. They would not give two craps, I don't think. You know, they really judged me without really for real getting to know me and being around me in order to place that judgment. And then of course, my husband has 2 children prior, of course. It was a lot going on with that, a lot going on with the mother of his children. It was just a lot going on. I kind of felt like I was being ganged up on. I felt like it was, you know, I don't know. I felt so alone being here. And even now, because I'm still currently in North Carolina, and, you know, I feel like I'm begging my husband and begging. I said, babe, I want to move out of North Carolina. I want to be able to feel free. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of having to always defend myself. And every time I do, I'm always wrong because of how I'm coming at people and my aggression of how I'm coming at people as well. But I felt like it was well needed because of how everybody was treating me and how, sometimes I don't feel like my husband speaks up for me. So it's kind of like, because he wants to keep the peace and want things, you know, but it does not work that way, especially if I'm his wife, you know what I mean? So it's just, it was a lot, and it's still a lot. Like, even I don't have a relationship with my mother-in-law. I wanted one so bad. Even after my mother passed, to be honest, and I know everybody is different. Every woman is different. I really was hoping that she would just grab me up and say, you know what? I know we've had our issues or whatever. You just lost your, I'm bringing you in now, you know. But I didn't get that. If anything, I got, like, where pretty much my mother-in-law said right in front of me to my husband, I need you to find somebody that's going to love you, that's going to be there for you, and this and that. And I'm like, well, what the hell? I'm right here. You know what I mean? I'm right here. My husband would not marry me if I don't love him. You know, so it's a lot. And I'm not going to go straight up into detail with everything, but it's just been a lot as far as everything I've been going through. And then, of course, dealing with my husband's job that I don't necessarily care for him having. You know, I got into a verbal altercation with his boss due to me trying to clear my name the night before, and the way it kind of it went left when I was trying to clear my name the night before, because it was always said, oh, well, Lawrence is saying this, or Lawrence going around talking this about you. No, 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 no. But see, with me, I don't talk about people behind their back. If I have something to say, I'm going to say it to you in your face. And so, I was trying to clear up my name with one of my husband's co-workers who has very loose lips. Like, I cannot say anything to him in confidence without it going to the person, you know what I mean? And I was trying to clear her up. I said, no, this is not what was said. This is what I said. But of course, it turned left. The next day, I got into a verbal altercation with his boss, to the point where before I was able to even explain myself, she's saying to me that she's gotten the police involved, she's getting lawyers. Then she redid her little rule book saying that I cannot enter any of the buildings that my husband cleans. I can't even be in the car in the parking lot. I can't even drop him off and leave, nothing, because then I was going to get arrested and all that. And so I'm just like, well, my goodness. So then, of course, I had to lash out once again, because it's like, you're not going to comment. And I'm like, okay, where are your receipts? I love receipts. So my thing is, if so it's just a lot of stuff. And I, like I was saying, I've been battling mental health. I'm not going to blame North Carolina, because I've been battling mental health before moving. But my mental health got worse since moving to North Carolina in 2019. It got worse because I had to go through so much, really, since being with my now husband. And the things I'm going through are with folks that are connected to him. They don't want to see us together. It's just, so, okay, now we're moving forward. My husband and I were trying to have a baby, and I had all the symptoms, well, some of the symptoms, and then come to find out this morning that I started my period. And so that hurt me to the gut. That really hurt me, because we've been struggling having a child before. When my mother died, when I was going through so much loss in my life, starting with my little brother who died in February 2022, to my mother dying May of 2022, then my father dying April of 2023, then my father-in-law, and the thing about it is, my father-in-law died in front of me December of 2024. I'm sorry, no, December of 2023. April, May, June, July, August. 8 months after my father died, my husband's father dies. So it's like, I'm going through all this loss. And around that time that I was going through all this loss, I'm also going through all this stuff with his family, and his mother saying that I've been trying to keep him away from his family from day one, which is untrue. And this is around the time that I was losing everybody, and my husband was being there for me. And so, yeah. So, yeah, my mental health has really picked up, and really just, so. But I'm not going to discuss it any further, because I know I will cry. But, yeah. I did not mean for this video to turn out like this. Ooh. But yeah, moving forward, I went to Maryland last week to visit my best friend. And I felt good being in Maryland. I felt good, just kind of being back home, because I felt peace. Darn it, I do not have any tissues. But yes, anyway, so yeah, I was visiting a friend of mine. Her name is Ashley. I love her. God bless her. I will say God bless her and her husband. I met her daughter for the first time, Esther. She just turned 1 back in March, and I missed her birthday. I missed seeing her at birth and stuff. So my first time seeing her was pretty much a year later. But oh my gosh, she is her father's child. Anywho, so my best friend Ashley knows firsthand everything that I've gone through. She knows all the details. I remember I would call her crying, venting to her about everything I'm going through. I'm going through here, why I want to move, and all of that. So she prayed with me. It's kind of like I found my spiritual. Did I say it right? Spiritual, yeah, spiritual purpose again. And so I found it where as soon as I got back from Maryland, I threw away everything that was not of God. I threw away everything that was not of God. And as far as like goddesses and stuff like that, because I remember I mentioned in previous videos that I work and honor the goddess Aphrodite and all of that. No more. It is Jesus Christ himself. And so I do have resources that has helped me, and I'm still a work in progress, and it's still helping me along with the dolls that I'm going to show you guys in just a sec. But I want to show you guys something that my friend Ashley, my best friend Ashley, gave to me. She is a true Christian. Of course, I'm a Christian as well, born and raised as a Christian. She's heavily in the church. She changed herself spiritually a few years ago. She practices head coverings and stuff. Denying I'm not going to do that, but she practices head coverings, and she has her own prayer room. She has crosses everywhere. Like it's and I actually mentioned this to my other bestie, Bryce, that also helps me. I think it's in here. Is I was using my mom's prayer beads, but now that I think about it, I think it's a mix of prayer beads and a bookmark. But I want to show you that first, and then I'll show you guys, and I'll tell you guys the resources that I have. But here is what belonged to my mother, and I bring this with me everywhere I go. Hold on, let me. Okay, there we go. So we have that, and so a lot of times when I'm praying or if I'm listening to gospel music, I always have this in my hands. So I'm thinking now it's a mix between a bookmark and prayer beads. So, and that's that. Ashley gave me 2 sets of Bibles. This is one that is for the household. This is the Holy Bible. This is the English Standard Version. And then I have the travel size Bible as well. This is Here's Hope New Testament. This is the Christian Standard Bible. My husband and I were just reading this 2 nights ago because we were discussing marriage. And what I also like is here I have the Bible emergency number. So for all of my fellow Christians out there, or if you are struggling spiritually to figure out what works best for you, feel free to, use these emergency numbers and get the help that you need. Now, like I said, everything that I'm presenting to you guys, it might not be for everybody, but I'm just showing you what has helped me and is currently helping me to this day. But yeah, these are mercy numbers right here. And I will also write all this in the description so that you guys can also check that out as well. Feel free to pause me to look at this. Feel free to pause me. And if you cannot see it, if it's not clear enough, then once again, like I said, this will be in the description. It will be in the description if you guys need it. Mercy numbers in terms of when you're in sorrow, when man fails you, when you have sinned, when you have worry, when you are in danger, when God seems far away, when your faith needs stirring, when you are lonely and fearful, when you grow bitter and critical, when you feel down and out, when you want peace and rest, when God seems too small, when you need assurance, when you prepare for travel, when your prayers grow narrow or selfish, when you want courage for a task, to get along with your fellow men for a great intervention or opportunity, for Paul's secret to happiness, if you want to be fruitful, if your pocketbook is empty, if you are losing confidence in people, if people seem unkind, if discouraged about your work. And the last one is when you feel small. And so when Ashley, my best friend, gave me this, it meant something to me. And so, I started, reading this. This comes with me everywhere I go. Now, I will say, if you guys want, sorry, I think I got one of my dog's hair on me. But if you guys want a copy of this, just let me know in the comments, and I can hit up my girl Ashley to send me some Bibles. You guys could, private message me on Instagram for your mailing address, and then I can send that to you. Or what I could do is provide that to my friend Ashley. She can send one to you directly if you're comfortable with that. And if you want this particular Bible, or if you want this one, which is now she also just got the Spanish edition of the Bible for those of you guys who prefer a Spanish edition. And then of course this is the back of the other one of the main Bible. And I didn't show you the back of this one. Okay, so those are my resources. So now let me get into the fun part, and I'm gonna show you the dolls. And first and foremost, they are all dressed in green. And I do have another short story to tell you about one of the dolls I show you guys. And of course, we have my mini me. So yeah, we have her. And she's dressed in green. And then we have Juliana. And I realized that she is my mental health, well, me and Lorraine's actual mental health doll, because I'm looking at her locks now. It's more blue, but she does have a few green strands of locks in her hair. And then, of course, this her dress. Now, to me, I want to say this is more so like a bluish, but to me, I feel like it's green. I could be colorblind, y'all. So, yeah. And then, of course, see with her a little bit of the green. So. And then we have Caddy Noir, I think. So we have her. And I decided to also include Alphaba. And the only reason why I'm including her, that I could not find anything green for her, but I feel like her face and her whole body is green, which automatically makes her a mental health doll. So that's another reason why I'm using her. And then, of course, I have my Ariel Jr. And also stay tuned, guys, because I did do a video of me being in Maryland, and I was in the pool and I was with Ariel Jr. and I took some photos of her and stuff like that. So, and then last but not least, which will lead to a story, is Ebony. And she is the 1959 doll. The BMR. Yeah, the BMR. The BMR 1959 doll. So I have a story with her. So I was in the process of donating a lot of my dolls. And I spoke bestie up. Bryce is texting me right now. But anyway, I'll get back to him in a sec. I'm almost done. Because I don't want to keep you guys any longer. But I was in the process of donating dolls because I didn't want to have so many anymore. I got to the point where I was feeling overwhelmed. And I only wanted to keep the dolls that brought me joy. I wanted to keep the dolls that not only bring me joy, but has a story behind them that helps me, that they can help me out mentally and all of that. So as I was donating, she decided to hide herself. And after I donated the dolls that I was donating, and I was going to go ahead and get into my books to donate that, that's when I saw her. And I said, wow. So I put her, this is the thing, you guys, that God also works in mysterious ways. I literally put her in a trash bag, ready for donation. She was in a trash bag, you guys. And she hid herself. I don't know what happened, but she was she was between the wall and the bin where I had the books. And I was like, what is that? So I looked, and it was her. So I said, okay. So that lets me know you don't want to leave me. You want to be here with me. And you want to be here not only with me, but for a purpose. And so I took that to heart, and I said, you know what? You're not going nowhere. You're going to stay right here. If you had to go through all of that, so I would not donate you for you to go to another home that can give you the proper care that I probably can't, and you want to be here with me, little old me. That says something, and I took that very seriously. So I said, you know what? You staying here, you shall. So, yes. So I named her Ebony. And she is stunning. I love her. And she is now going to be one of my mental health dolls. So. All right, guys. So I hope you guys liked that, my story. I was not planning on getting emotional. But a lot of times when I tell my mental health story, it does bring me to tears. When I tell the story on when it got worse and all of that, it does bring me to tears because I really felt like I was dealt a really, really bad hand. And because of me having dealt a bad hand to me, that was dealt to me, it was hard for me to maneuver and to deal with that. So my mental health was just everywhere. And I'm still going, like I said, I'm still going through it. I'm not in the clear or anything of that nature. Right now, I'm following the resources that I have available to me right now to get through with it. I have my girls. I got my Bible. I got the Lord Jesus Christ. And I have a very selective few people that also help me out mentally as well. I have people that pray for me. I always call Ashley. I'm like, listen, I need some prayers. This is what's going on with me. This is what I had to go through today. I need a prayer, you know, because sometimes I feel like when certain people that I know are stronger in their prayers and stronger in the word and stronger in their faith than me, I feel like if I pray or if I do it, it might not be perceived how I would want it to be perceived. But if I get somebody that's stronger in me in their faith to pray for me, then it's like, okay, I know it's going to happen, you know, because I need positive people around me. I need people around me that is not going to just tolerate me, but really, really, you know, care for me, you know. So, yeah. So, all right, guys, this video is over 30 minutes a little bit. So, I hope I did not bore you guys. I hope you guys stayed until the end. Yeah. So, like I said, I will link, I will link all of this in the emergency Bible numbers. I will link this in the description along with my Instagram. So if you want to, you know, private message me on Instagram, feel free. I'm here for you guys. I love you guys. Mental health is not easy. It's not easy to go through. It's not easy to live with in your daily life. It can be hard. I know it's hard because I'm still going through it. So, and if, you know, we could work together. We could work together to make each other better, to make each other whole again, and to get our spiritual faith up. If you guys are interested, I don't want to force anybody, but, you know, if you're interested, you know, always hit me up. I will be here for you, and I love every one of you guys. So, yeah. So, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.